mesh lots. What I have in Max, and what you also have in the export folder here. So we have the rock low lot and lot 1 and lot 2. If you import this one, the rock, which is for me it's over here. So these are the 3 lots. I'm gonna lot this mesh. So when you move away from this rock, you'll start seeing that one, and eventually if you move further away, you'll see that one. This one is about half the polygons. That one is far less. I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but it's considerable. Well, this one is 428, 2900, and I don't know what happened there. Okay, I don't know what happened with the modifier. Either way, 1800, 2900. So that are our steps. Also, when you do lots, it's really important that you keep the light maps exactly the same on each lot, because Unreal will reuse the same light map for the lots. So when he makes a light map for this mesh will use a light map made for the original mesh. It won't make a new light map just for the low lot. Okay, so the only way you can really get any decent result out of this is if the light map coordinates remain exactly the same for each lot step. So if I look at the light map coordinates for this, then you can see it looks like following. So this is how the light map coordinates look for this rock. So I try to combine it as good as possible, you know, big islands as possible. And I have 2 big islands. If you then look at the low lot, which is also entirely smoothed, then you can see the light map coordinates of this one look pretty much the same, just lower poly. So it's very important again that it's on the exact same position, that both of them have the same shape, the same size, it's the same light map layout, it's just lower poly. If you don't do that, the lighting will be entirely off on the low lot. Okay, so we can export these 3. They all share the same pivot point, so if I export them, they will all end up on 0, 0, 0 on in the same way. There we go. And we can go to Unreal. And we can import the rock. I'm only going to import the rock itself. So I'm not importing the low lots. I'm only importing the actual rock. I okay that. And then I have my rock over here. And what you can do then to get the lots is in mesh. In the top menu it says mesh. And then you do import mesh lot. Let me get a window. It's off screen here, but there's a window here. When you get that window, it's gonna say ISA or OBG or something by default. Make sure you change that. Make sure you change the file type to FBX. I'm not sure if I can show that. Yeah, window resized. So this is ISA by default. So make sure you change that to FBX. Otherwise, obviously, you don't see anything. And then select your low lot 1. Then it asks you what to set it to. Well, it should be 1 because the base is the rock itself. We just imported the base. That's the high poly. So 1. That's okay, it says, and then we can do it again for the second one. So again, see here it happens. Change to FBX so you can see it. 2, and now it should become 2 here as well. And that's it. It's going to be quite hard to see this in the video though, especially because it's a rock. It's not going to be very easy, but technically if you zoom out, it should change it to the second type. But again, it's not easy to see in this case. But I can do it with something else very quickly. I can take just a cube, for example, and put the cube as rock lot number 1, just for the case of displaying what happens. See, if you move away, it replaces it with the other mesh. If you move away a certain distance, suddenly you get a cube. In this case, it doesn't work well because the cube is so much bigger than the original object. It really goes wrong. But just for the idea, this is what happens. Move away, see the second mesh. The distance at which it's switches to the second one is determined by lot distance ratio and also lot max range. So messing with those numbers allows you to tweak the when it changes. You can also preview the different lot steps over here. So if you press the B from base, you see the original mesh. 1, you see the first lot step, 2, and then 3, which I don't have in this case. And that's it. So that's lotting in a nutshell. The thing with lots is I rarely use them though. I rarely use lotting in Unreal unless you really have a lot of things in view and they're particularly high poly. There's really not, to my experience, very little benefit of doing this, because the amount of extra memory you will spend in remembering all the lot steps and the amount of extra work it brings along and all that is actually having has very little impact on performance. So you're just wasting time and memory, and you're not really getting much rendering performance out of it. I mean, there are some exceptions, but in general, I never ever really do this. And I can show you exactly why later on when we look at the poly count impact in Unreal, like how Unreal renders the polygons. If you look at that, you will understand why there's so little purpose, so little point in doing this on a grand scale. So I rarely do this, but this is how you would do it if you really wanted to.